Thanks for tuning into the top 10 jaw-dropping facts. Please don't forget to subscribe, and new videos are released every Monday through Friday. It may have taken 11 years, but Aerosmith finally returned this week with their new album, Music from Another Dimension. To promote the disc, the band went on a full-scale media assault, appearing on The Today Show, NPR and every other media outlet that would have them. They also did a giant outdoor show outside their former apartment in Boston. The band resumes its American tour later this week in Oklahoma City, so we figured this was a good time to poll our readers and figure out their top 10 Aerosmith songs. Number 10. Dude Looks Like a Lady. The song, which originally started out as Cruisin' for a Lady, talks about a male with an effeminate appearance, who is mistaken for a female. Steven Tyler states in the book Walk This Way, the autobiography of Aerosmith, "One day we met Motley Crue, and they're all going, dude. Dude this and dude that, everything was dude. Dude, looks like a lady," came out of that session. According to Child, Tyler came up with the idea of the song while at a bar and mistaking Motley Crue's lead singer Vince Neil for a woman with long blonde hair. Tyler's bandmates made fun of him, joking about how the dude looked like a lady. Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx, in his book, The Heroin Diaries, states that the song was inspired by Neil. Joe Perry came up with the chorus riff, and Tyler came up with the chorus refrain. Tyler originally sang the hook as Cruisin' for the Ladies, but Child lambasted the lyrical idea, stating that "I don't think Van Halen would put that on the B-side of their worst record." It was released as the first of 4 singles from the Permanent Vacation album in 1987. The track reached number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 41 on the Hot Dance Club Play chart, number 4 on the Mainstream Rock Tracks chart, number 22 on the Canadian RPM Top Singles chart and number 45 on the UK Singles chart. It was re-released in early 1990 and peaked at number 20 in the UK. The song was written by lead singer Steven Tyler, lead guitarist Joe Perry and songwriter Desmond Child. Number 9. Last Child. Aerosmith were riding very high in 1976. They had finally broken through to the top 40 the previous year with Walk This Way, and they had graduated from clubs to arenas. Many fans feel this period peaked with the release of Rocks in May 1976. It opens with Back in the Saddle and doesn't let up until the finale of Home Tonight. The second track, the uber-funky Last Child, was written by Steven Tyler and guitarist Brad Whitford. It was the first single from the LP, and it peaked at number 9. It remains Whitford's signature song and it's been in their setlist for decades. Number 8. Janie's Got a Gun. Aerosmith have never been a band that tackled serious issues, but, in 1989, Steven Tyler read an article in Newsweek about gun violence and began writing a deceptively dark song about a girl who kills her sexually abusive father. The lyrics originally went "He raped a little bitty baby," but he ultimately changed it to "He jacked a little bitty baby" so it could get some radio play. The song still stirred up some controversy because some thought it encouraged vigilante justice. Nevertheless, the video went into heavy rotation on MTV and the song reached number 4 on the Hot 100. Number 7. Mama Kin. Everything that's great about Aerosmith was apparent on their 1973 debut LP, but it took a couple of years for the world to catch on. Dream On was the only song from the disc to score on the charts, peaking at number 59. 3 years later, a re-release reached number 6. The single Mama Kin didn't come close to entering the charts, even though most fans today regard it as one of their finest. "That was a song I brought with me when I joined Aerosmith," Steven Tyler says in the band's oral history, Walk This Way. "I took the lick from an old Blodwyn Pig song. I had so much confidence in that song, I had Ma Kin tattooed on my arm." Around the time the song came out, Aerosmith were dismissed as a poor man's Rolling Stones. 13 years later, Guns N' Roses put a cover of the song on their debut EP Live at Like a Suicide. Critics dismissed them as a poor man's Aerosmith. Number 6. Seasons of Wither. Aerosmith first teamed up with producer Jack Douglas on their second LP, Get Your Wings, in 1974. Nearly 40 years later, Douglas is still working with the band and he's responsible for many of their greatest works. Get Your Wings didn't have a single hit on it, but nearly every track is a fan favorite. The Mournful Seasons of Wither was written by Steven Tyler at a house he shared with Joey Kramer near an old chicken farm in Needham, Massachusetts. I was pissed off about my taxes and getting mad helps me to write, Tyler said. So one night I went down to the basement where we had a rug on the floor and a couple of boxes of furniture and took a few tunnels and a few seconals and I scooped up this guitar Joey gave me, this dumpster guitar, and I lit some incense and wrote Seasons of Wither. Number 5. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is the most polarizing song in the entire Aerosmith catalog. Penned by Diane Warren, the ballad spent 4 weeks at number 1 in 1998 and it's the single biggest hit in Aerosmith's catalog. Many old school fans saw it as a sellout move, but it also introduced the band to an entirely new audience. It came at a time when Aerosmith really needed a hit. It had been 4 long years since Get a Grip, and the follow-up disc 9 Lives was a huge disappointment. The band was also at each other's throats, when suddenly this song from the soundtrack to Armageddon absolutely exploded. It gave them yet another lease on life. In concert nowadays, it's a bathroom break for some, but others break out their iPhones and burst into tears. Number 4. Back in the Saddle. Aerosmith knew they wanted to open their 1976 LP Rocks with a huge, anthemic song. We recorded it to have this larger-than-life vibe, said producer Jack Douglas. To bring the band right into the middle of the kid's head when he put it on his headphones late at night. At the record plant, we were talking about Gene Autry's Back in the Saddle again and Steven thought it was about fucking your girlfriend again, and I'm saying, I wish we could use this saddle image as a way of saying, here's another album, folks, and we're gonna rock out and I've got my spurs on. Number 3. Walk This Way. Aerosmith were midway through their 1975 classic Toys in the Attic when they took a break to see the new Mel Brooks movie Young Frankenstein in Times Square. In the film, Igor tells Dr. Frankenstein to walk this way. He proceeds to mimic his disfigured limp. The band nearly fell out of their seats laughing and the next day, Steven Tyler decided to write a song around the line. That night, he popped a tunnel and wrote out the lyrics, only to lose them in a cab. On the fly, he scribbled some lines the next day in the studio about a high school loser getting laid for the first time. The song became a huge hit, and years later, rappers all around New York isolated Joey Kramer's drum loop from the very beginning and built songs around it. Eventually, Run DMC recut the entire song with Joe Perry and Steven Tyler and it brought Aerosmith back from obscurity. Number 2. Sweet Emotion. With Sweet Emotion, Aerosmith finally cracked the top 40. The single let them move countless copies of Toys in the Attic and truly helped them enter a new stratosphere of fame. What few fans realized was that the song is about Joe Perry's ex-wife, Alyssa. To put it mildly, Steven Tyler didn't like her. I couldn't get next to Joe when she was around, said Tyler, which was all the time. She was doing all his drugs. Before she came along, I was doing all his drugs. It was a big problem. That might better help you understand lines like, you talk about things that nobody cares / you're wearing out things that nobody wears. Alyssa is long out of Perry's life, but Sweet Emotion remains one of Aerosmith's signature songs. Number 1. Dream On. Steven Tyler wrote Dream On a Steinway upright piano about 4 years before Aerosmith even formed. It's about dreaming until your dreams come true, Tyler said. It's about hunger and desire and ambition to be somebody that Aerosmith felt in those days. You can hear it in the grooves because it's there. It was make it, don't break it for real. The song barely cracked the top 60 when they released it in 1973, but they knew it was a classic song, so after Toys in the Attic broke, they re-released an edited version of it that shot to the top of the charts all around the world. The band has played the song countless times, but it always gets the biggest reaction of the night. It also received almost 100 more votes than any other song in this poll. Thanks for tuning into the top 10 jaw-dropping facts. Please don't forget to subscribe, and new videos are released every Monday through Friday.